It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
Oh, Chris, the can, poppin', co-star. My name is Mike.
Yeah, it can be like it's like, you remember the Cherry Poppin' Daddies band?
Oh gosh,
like can it be a can poppin' daddy?
Every millennial brutally remembers the Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yeah, the Zoot Suit Riot. But anyways, this week the OG Defenders return. Mike, I sent you some not screenshots, I guess some set photos. We'll talk about how the worst kept secret in Hollywood finally got revealed. Supergirl goes full John Wick in the trailer. We'll be talking about in the episode. We visit Castle Greyskull in Eternia. This is a Masters of the Universe reference, Mike. I didn't know if you get there or not. You don't.
No, that's fair. I mean, I don't
fan.
look at the analytics of the podcast, but something tells me if it's under a certain age, nobody knows what the hell an Eternia is.
Mm-hmm. Castle Greyskull sounds fine, though. I think that's what Jared Leto calls his own house. So that's what they hired him for this movie and more on this week's episode.
Yes, we also we are recording on the holiday of Easter.
Mm-hmm.
So our child had way too much sugar and candy this morning, which led to a difficult nap situation. So Chris and I are fresh, hot on these microphones. We are like, I don't even know what you've been up to all weekend, Chris. Usually we kind of chit chat just before we start laying down the track. So what have you been up to?
Yeah, this weekend, one of our friends, I guess two of our friends technically, from both sides got married. So my wife was in a wedding this weekend. So Friday, immediately after work, we drove out to the rehearsal dinner, where it was on a hill in like the fields / hills of Kentucky. It's very interesting. I'll have to send you some photos of how this kind of worked out. But it was very windy and rainy this weekend. So they sadly had to move it inside yesterday. So yesterday was the actual ceremony and stuff like that. And I was asked but volunteered to do video work at the wedding because Mike, if you know my background, it's in video production. So they were like, we don't have videographers. We just had these two kind of they're not GoPros. What are those? The DJI.
Yeah.
Osmos. So I essentially ran around with one of those. It's very hard because the photographers are probably, I would say, the most. If you don't have a full video team, the photographers are the most important part of a wedding, right? So I essentially was attached to the hip of the primary photographer. I'm like, I'm not gonna get in your way, and we'll just make this work. So that was yesterday, and then today, like I told you, I woke up and I was like, it's got to be a productive one. I got to get stuff done. We're traveling this week, so I went and mowed my backyard, which was way too tall for this time of year, and then immediately replaced a broken it's just a really, really bad fluorescent fixture in our closet because it's been off for like a week and a half. So we've kind of been gathering our clothes by phone light, if you will, because like one bulb would fire up like halfway, the other one's burn out. So I feel real productive today, Mike. And what have you been up to other than apparently maybe hiding Easter eggs all over your house for your child?
We did. It was fun. I wasn't expecting a near 2-year-old to kind of grasp the concept of go find the eggs, but she's very familiar with her surroundings. So she kind of knew like, oh, I don't normally see large plastic eggs in my kind of play zone. So I'm going to go check these things out. So that was fun. Some nice cherished holiday moments. Chris, I am just eagerly awaiting for you to find the Dirty Mountain Dew.
Yes.
I absolutely shocked that I found it before you, since you are pretty much in the strike zone of the of like usually
Ground
day
zero.
zero mountain.
Ground
Yes,
zero, yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Super fan of the show, Jim. He was able to get a hold of some too. I believe he's in is it Idaho or Iowa? Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So it's in the Midwest or the far Midwest, wherever you call that area of the United States. But it's also made it out here on the West Coast. So I'm holding on to my thoughts, Chris.
Yeah,
So let
please.
me know when you get it, and
I've
we'll
tried.
share our thoughts.
I have tried so hard to find it. I've got yesterday, I guess, but while my wife was at the wedding because they started in the morning, I went out to several stores, the Krogers, the WalMarts, the Myers. I was hunting them down. I mean, I was able to even find a plethora of the new Pib and Pib Zero cans. I've had the Mountain Dew mango citrus, or not Mountain Dew, Sprite mango citrus, Sprite chill mango citrus. I've done everything I can, but have that, and it's driving me bonkers to do it. But hopefully, whenever like I'm traveling this week, and it's a drive there and back, so I hopefully along the way I will find some large gas station that probably has at least one bottle.
Yeah,
I can
the
sample.
benefit of this one, it's not beholden to one specific store. So yeah, if you're just casually popping into gas stations, paying $15 a gallon on the way down to Texas, you might be able to find it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm hoping one of the most exciting parts of this whole trip, Mike, is that this is I was already planning my driving like meals. I'm like, ooh, Tuesday night we're leaving right after I get off work, so I can have a Crystal burger because we'll be in the Crystal region of the United States, and then I can get down a Whataburger by the time we get to Texas. So I'm already like planning my regional meals along the way, and maybe even stop at a Buc-ee's if I can find another one that I've not been to.
Ooh,
Yet.
love this for you, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, so with no further ado, I'm actually drinking. Just so you know, I cracked open a full sugar white peach Red Bull right now. That's a post wedding pick me up right there.
Wow, if you wanted the productivity to keep going, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I'm just vibe coding. We're vibe podcasting now. Do you know that's the thing? I've determined that that's a phrase.
Well, I think we've been doing that for like almost 600 episodes.
Yeah.
I only bring the vibes every Sunday.
We've been vibe podcasting for 12 years. So, well, let's hop into it. First, we're gonna book in this with trailers. The first trailer that probably affects maybe a small percentage of the listeners will be the Masters of the Universe trailer. This is a full trailer, not the teaser that we got a couple weeks ago. So, full trailer released. Kind of gives us a little bit of story of that. I can't remember the main character's name. Prince Adam was essentially exiled light years away to Earth. So this is a version where Prince Adam is essentially an alien on Earth. He doesn't know how to get back to his homeworld of Eternia. But when he gets there, he's like, I remember all of you, and rally the troops. And this is where we get to see a little bit more of the action, it looks like. We get to see him, I have the power. He stops a very sharp spinning spaceship with his hands. So we're getting some real He-Man stuff here. One of the things I clocked right at the beginning, Battle Cat is the MGM Lion in this. So I thought that was a little fun, like little Easter egg they did. And then we also get to hear Skeletor speak, played by Jared Leto. And it sounds like he's going with like a kind of like maybe a Bond-esque British villain tone. It doesn't sound like Jared Leto. And I'm like, if no one had told me this was him, I wouldn't even have clocked Jared Leto being in this movie, which was a surprise.
I've seen some people saying, "Oh, couldn't they just do like an actual Skeletor voice? You wouldn't even need to cast a celebrity, in this role." But it's like would be the goofiest, the goofiest decision for a live action movie. I don't know. The trailer gives me hope. It kind of is giving me the Chris Pine Dungeons and Dragons, like this would be a good double feature type of thing of like, oh, this is an IP that like you're familiar with just because it's been around forever.
For the
but
memes, at least.
Yeah, but it almost kind of feels original because you're not really familiar. I mean, obviously everyone's hyper aware of what D&D is now, but I don't really play it, so I don't know the ins and outs. And I'm very aware of what He-Man is, but I don't watch it. I don't know the ins and out of it either. So I have optimistic outlook for this.
Yeah, I think we're far enough removed. Like if it's bad, no skin off our back, and if it's good, it's a win, like kind of thing. So, but it looks fun. The guy who's playing He-Man, Prince Adam, if you will, he looks like he's got the roll down. There'll be some sword fights, some magic stuff, some really out there things. So I'm excited to see some of the weird characters. Like I remember Manny Faces, the guy who has like 3 heads that turns around in the thing. Just a couple weird toys coming to life here. I'd like to see it. So I'm excited to see this. Also, I did want to call this out. The first 5 bullet points are all Amazon projects, by the way, because Amazon owns MGM. And that comes us right into the next release date, Spaceballs 2. We were given this, I think 2 years ago, I think they told us they were announcing this. So it's officially releasing April 23rd, 2027 in theaters, just in time for the original's 40th anniversary, Mike. I'm a big Spaceballs fan. I do believe we are in an era of, I guess, not necessarily cinematic going, but like movies need to be less, I guess, tentpole-y. This doesn't sound like a tentpole movie. This sounds like, hey, we're just making a Spaceballs 2 with Mel Brooks and I know Josh Gad and some returning characters. This looks like this will be a fun time for me. Nothing, again, no sweat off my back if it doesn't perform, but I am excited to watch a comedy, I guess, in theaters for the first time in a long time. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious how Spaceballs is such like an iconic movie for my childhood because my brother and I grew up rewatching, the original Star Wars trilogy every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We were on top of it, know it front and back. And then every once in a while, it's just like, let's pepper in a little Spaceballs just to mix it up a little bit, just to have a goof, just to have a little bit of a gas. So that's kind of what that movie is to me. So I don't take it too seriously because it's not supposed to be. It's really funny, but gosh, boy, is it weird. Doing, I guess this would technically be a legacy sequel as you think about it. And I feel like we haven't had a lot of legacy sequels that are just straight up comedies, right?
The Scary Movie, like this year count as well as that? Would you put that in that?
Oh, that's a good question because I feel like they had pumped those out so frequently in their heyday. This almost kind of just feels like another drop in the bucket, but there's only one Spaceballs. So it's kind of like you're only comparing it to the one and only. So there you go.
I would say I would put Scary Movie in this world because they brought back the original cast from the first movie, which they didn't do for, I guess, the other ones. But yeah, I don't know what to do. Like, 40 years of sci-fi. How do you skewer that in the Spaceballs universe again, right? Because Spaceballs was, it was Star Trek, it was Star Wars, any and everything in there. So like, it's just so, I don't know. It's zany, but it was what's the word for it? It's like a clean kind of thing. Like, it was just like, this is fine. This is a good thing. It's not making fun of things, but not like actually like just like shitting all over them kind of thing, like you'd find on the internet these days. So excited to see how this turns back. And then also made me remember that Mel Brooks is like 100. He'll be like 100, 101. It'll be 100 this year, and I think 101 next year when it comes out. So
it's gonna be a lot easier. It's gonna be a lot easier to do that yogurt makeup.
yeah. I hope he's able to bring that back. So they're not just, Amazon's not doing it for more money, Mike. They're actually doing it for a shitload of more money. So we'll see how that works out. We got news this morning. Listener to the show, Patrick, sent this over to me. Season 5 of Invincible has been renewed via one of those voice cast announcements where like they all stand in the booth and say, "Oh my God, we're coming back for season 5." So pretty good. I guess we're like halfway through season 4, maybe a little longer.
Oh, good to know. I'm gonna wait until it's all out there, then I'll watch it all, and then I'm sure I'll be on the show here in a month, 2-month times, telling people, "Hey, it was really good. I'm glad they're making another one."
Yeah. So I know my assumption is the success of this, the IP, this they're gonna see it all the way through, like through the book, because the book is done, right? Like there's no more book. Like, so my guess is they're gonna see it through. They might make some changes here and there, but I think they're gonna go all the way through the end of the book and work their way through it. So we'll see kind of how that goes with it. And also, if they're in the voice thing and saying season 5, that means they're already doing the voice thing. So we might be maybe a year, next February, next March, they'll be back with the season 6, like keep it on a yearly kind of cycle. But don't know about that. Also, another show that's probably going to get all the way through, it's Rings of Power. I know you're probably not a Lord of the Rings fan like that, like to watch the Rings of Power, Mike, but that show has been 2 seasons. The 3rd season's coming out this year. And I was looking at this. Apparently, whenever Amazon got the rights to do this, they were promised, I think it was 5 seasons and 50 episodes. So 10 episodes across 5 seasons. Or they have to pay like $20 million or some odd number for every episode they don't produce back to the estates.
I absolutely love that kind of deal. I had no idea until I heard some of that news this week. That's how all IP holders should be doing it now. Like I feel like it's so much in your better interest to get a complete product out of leasing your IP rather than just like one big bombastic like 1 or 2 seasons and everybody forgets about it. Because at the end of the day, like you have nothing to like hang your hat on. Like you can't point to anything that's finished and satisfactory, which I mean, obviously Netflix is just like a graveyard, like full of that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like if the producers and developers go into it with a different mindset, maybe if they know we have to do 5 seasons. Now this is going to be totally totally different from what I'm about to say because obviously Amazon is doing nothing but throwing money at this. But I feel like if you know you're a streaming service that has to put out 50 episodes, 5 seasons of something, and you're pretty much contractually obligated to do it, maybe you think about it a little bit more, right? You strategize a little bit, you really try to figure out where your money's worth it. And then also you can get the actors to sign on, right? I feel like there's so many things out there in the streaming world that are dead after 3 seasons because all the actors have to renegotiate and then the streaming service just goes like, well, this isn't quite, going to return our shareholder value, so screw your TV show, right? So yeah, I'm down for more of these types of moves.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like, again, I know this isn't like everyone's favorite thing to watch, but that's when it's all said and done. Like, when it's all said and done, you're like, oh, we got 5 seasons. Will that change people's minds? Will they like come like, oh, this was good because like some of the stuff is paying off later? I don't know, but like that, I agree with you. It's like, yeah, if you're gonna be a big enough again IP or name like Rings of Power, like Lord of the Rings, you're gonna make sure people sign up, or if they what's it called, pay or play kind of thing. Like they like, if you don't do it, we're still gonna get money out of it because you shorted us. So
yeah. And if anybody out there was worried, I did Google what I was desperately trying to say. It was antithetical and then bailed at the last second.
You did it twice, like almost like 90% of the way through. I was like, am I gonna help him? Nah, he's got this. So
nah. If you've been listening to 567 episodes of this, every once in a while I'm going to crash and burn on a word. But here we are with 5 possible seasons of Lord of the Rings. Yeah. So I don't know, go watch that instead.
That's right. And like at least 2 movies in production as well. I think they said what's his name? Aragorn actor is not returning for the Hunt for Gollum, which makes sense. Like,
yeah. I saw that he's the same age that
Ian McKellen?
not Gollum. Yeah, Ian McKellen. I kept wanting to say Gandalf, but I kept saying Gollum. Man, I need either more caffeine or less caffeine today. Let's move on to the next segment.
Yes. It's weird that we get that. So the last Amazon thing is Spider-Noir, Spider-Man Noir. I think so. Spider-Noir, Spider-Man Noir is that it will compete in the comedy categories in the first draft of the Emmys. I didn't know the Emmys did multiple batches throughout the year to be, I guess, to culminate for next year's Emmys. But it is the same category as Wonder Man from Marvel. So this makes me wonder, what kind of show is this?
I mean, is this like the Martian strategy where it's just like, oh, there's no conceivable way in which we could win in drama, so we're gonna pull for comedy? But I mean, if you look at the trailer, I don't really see how comedy is involved anyway. It's just very freaky because it's got Nick Cage in it, but also like Nick Cage is like hilarious just in and of himself. Yeah. So I mean, maybe I doubt it, but maybe
it's not like a straight like laugh out loud comedy like Spaceballs we just talked about, but maybe it's more like Wonder Man that did have those comedic moments, but also the serious parts, right? Like there was like very serious, like dramatic moments on and along with the comedic elements as well. So it could be both. Maybe it leans more a little zany, a little more crazy because of the super powered people in there. But like I said, this could lead it to running against like constant Emmy winners, Only Murders in the Building, and like Shrinking. So it would be interesting to see them do that all together, but you never know these days. So, oh well. That's our Amazon stuff, but we're gonna move on to things that are also comedic. Mike, I don't know if you're a dungeon crawler Carl person or not. I will tell you, almost everyone in my life around me is, and enough to the point they're like, you should read this, you'll really like it. But enough people have told me that I have to do it on my own volition now. I will not just be reading it.
Yeah,
like I've been told too much. So
that's definitely some like psychological like attack where you get enough people recommending you something and you start to go like people can't know. I don't want people to know me what they think. Everyone thinks I'll love them. Then you kind of like start pushing back on it of just like, I'm going to prove them wrong that I'm not so readable, you know? But I only know about the series because you've told me about it. So I got to assume if a book series is so popular, it can proliferate through you and then sift down to me. I guess I shouldn't be so shocked that it's getting an adaptation.
Yeah, so the Dungeon Crawler Crawl, I believe there's 7 or 8 books. Another one's coming out this year. A TV adaptation is in development at Peacock. I think Universal had it last year, 2 years ago, and it didn't come to fruition, or maybe that was like just a rumor. But this one has I put these backwards. Seth MacFarlane, as you know from Family Guy, American Dad, so on and so forth, is the EP executive producing this through his is it Fuzzy Door Productions, I think is what it is. And Chris Yost, who's actually a comic writer, he wrote Avengers, the Avengers TV series, not Avengers Assemble.
Shield?
No, the cartoon one that I really liked that got 2 seasons.
Earth's Mighty Heroes. Yost is also Thor, right? Oh yeah, you have it right here in our notes.
Yeah, he wrote Thor. He worked on Thor: The Dark World before it was chopped to hell. He created X-23. He's really got a like good foot in comedy, but also like fantasy as well. So like he'll be there. There's a bunch of other people, but those were like the 2 big names I wanted to pull out of this because I'm like, oh, Chris Yost. I've got interviews with him like when he was in Michigan in like 2013. So he's a cool guy. This is good line for that. I'm gonna read the log line for this, Mike. And this might help you and me both understand what this book is about because I just kind of put my head in the sand like an ostrich whenever people try to talk about it to me. So here we go. An alien invasion has wiped out most of humanity, and any survivors are forced to fight for their lives on a sadistic intergalactic game show. Sounds bad, right? Now try doing it with bare feet and a stuck-up, self-centered, tiara-wearing, talking cat as your partner. Welcome to Dungeon Crawler World Earth, where the apocalypse will be televised, and Coast Guard vet Carl finds himself stuck with his ex-girlfriend's award-winning show cat, Princess Donut the Queen Anne Chonk. As they try to survive the end of the world, fighting monsters, aliens, and insane AI, and even other survivors, all for the sake of good TV. Survival is optional, entertainment is not. So, my sister-in-law is absolutely obsessed with this, enough that I've 3D printed her several figures from this series for her like gifts over the past 6 months. So I know there's a Velociraptor. I know there's a Princess Donut. I know there's a phrase called "God damn it, Donut" from Carl. It's pretty zany. I've not heard anything but good things about this, but I need to read it on my own volition until someone else tells me. But I can't, or at least I hope that this comes to a good adaptation. It just sounds too zany to be televised, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if Seth MacFarlane's involved, that's actually an extremely good sign.
Yeah.
I feel like people always sleep on Seth MacFarlane because they just think of like Family Guy or American Dad.
Yeah.
But I know his science fiction show, The Orville, is like adored by Star Trek fans because I've heard it feels more like Star Trek than any of these modern Star Trek shows. We just finished season 2, unfortunately, the last season of Ted, but Ted was absolutely hilarious on Peacock. I'm an American Dad fan, so I've really enjoyed pretty much everything that he's done mostly. So if he's involved, and we also have a well-known genre writer, Chris Yost, on it, I'd be interested in checking out. The biggest worry here is that it's on Peacock, right? I don't think we get a lot of breakout hits from the streaming service Peacock, unfortunately. So Like I know that there's several books in this series, so it just makes me think, oh, if this has any chance of spanning multiple seasons and covering a lot of the story that it seems like there's written, that they're gonna need to get some juice on this. I don't know if they're gonna spend a lot of marketing dollars. I don't know if they hope that the fan base is gonna drive subs, but I never hear
Well,
anybody talking about Peacock originals.
yeah, well, but maybe, it doesn't mean there aren't any. Maybe there aren't any. Maybe this is like the first time they need something. Like again,
Oh, there's
it could be
definitely Peacock
okay because
originals.
I don't know. I don't again. Someone without streaming services, I don't look
You
up
don't know
anything.
them, which is why it brings my point exactly.
Uh,
Actually, one I guess it's not a Peacock original per se, because I think it was also on network television. Saint Denis Medical. It was like a comedy hospital show that just went to Netflix. So Peacock and NBC Universal is just like, yeah, we'll make more money if we give this to
oh,
Netflix, even though we're streaming it exclusively.
Poker Face was one of theirs, which
Hmm.
I've only heard good things. But I just did a quick Google. I'm like, what is on here that I would know? Poker Face is one of them.
They
Uh,
have good stuff. I'm not saying that they don't have good stuff. I'm just saying ain't nobody
yeah,
watching them.
right. Yeah, I mean, I know people are watching that one because I hear that one when it comes up. But absolutely, my concern is maybe is more of like a very sci-fi fantasy show like this needs to be visually impressive, I guess, and like it's gonna
Hmm.
explode the cost of this show. So I just want it to look good. Like that's what if if you're gonna do this and do that, maybe this is a great IP where it's like you pay or you play or pay. Like hey, if you're gonna sign up for this, you got to do all the books. Kind of like the Harry Potter stuff, right? Like. You got to do them all, or you got to pay me, kind of thing. I think this would be a great opportunity for. We talked about IPs that could be, they get 2 seasons, but there's like 4 other books left, and they just never happen. So I think this would be a good time to make that deal if they can make that along the way. That one guy, was it Brandon Sanderson, the who did all his books?
Oh, the Apple TV deal, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's another thing to look at for someone who owns this stuff. So maybe we don't know much about this, but I am interested to see when it comes out. So we're probably 2 years out from the show hitting air. So the best part about adapting books, though, is there's a lot of content to pull from, so we can see what happens with that. We're just speeding through the news today, Mike. Let's talk about Daredevil: Born Again. I'm gonna be honest, I've not had a chance to watch Daredevil season 2 yet. It's just again, like I said, with the wedding stuff, that has been our time for the past like week and a half, 2 weeks. So I've not had a chance to watch it. I know episodes 2 and 3 both came out this week. So for those who were,
Hmm.
not expecting a double episode week, you have 3 episodes. So I know I'm behind 3 now. So that's out on there, and with that, they're also filming season 3. And Mike, I sent you a photo of Kristen Ritter, Mike Coulter, and Finn Jones walking to set yesterday because I didn't get on the internet for one day, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here in Daredevil? Because they didn't really announce it; it just kind of happened.
Yeah,
And
Finn Jones here is that's the news
yeah,
to me, right? Because nobody really seemed to be interested whether he was going to be in this Daredevil show or not. It's almost like nobody bothered to ask, and it's like, no, I was ready to leak it, but nobody
yeah,
was asking me. And then all of a sudden, we get a picture of him because we knew, like, we had such like strong signals pointing to Mike Coulter and Luke Cage returning, but like just nobody is whispering about Finn Jones and his possible glowing pistols
guns.
that he got at the end of his second crazy season. Which I had to Google because I was like, did I actually see that or did I hallucinate that?
Yeah,
So that's what's sending me this
yeah.
week, Chris.
Well, I would say here's the thing: I don't know officially how much time it was between Daredevil season 3 and Daredevil Born Again season 1, right? Um,
Hmm.
in real time, it was about 5 years. In the Marvel world, I don't know how long that is. So I am interested to see where they have Marvel, not Netflix, has put Luke Cage and Danny Rand in this. I did send a photo of you, and I have it here of Luke Cage wearing his Mayor Cage outfit from the comic books. Then I sent Mike the actual comic book cover, which is exactly the same thing. So we know currently the Kingpin is the mayor of New York. My guess is that doesn't last very long. Or maybe in season 3, he's getting opposition by having Luke Cage run against him in in the runnings. I don't know. So I'm interested to see what they do with these characters. What's Luke Cage been up to? Is he still like the kingpin of Harlem that we left off at season 2 for him? Is Danny Rand going Grand Theft Auto style with magical guns on ninjas out there?
Honestly, it's a great solution. I had no idea that this was a comic book story arc where Luke Cage becomes mayor of New York. But within the world that they're showing on Disney Plus, this actually makes a lot of sense because Fisk is just kind of going around New York, just popping heads of anybody that gets in his way because he doesn't really care about the law. So Luke Cage being possibly his opponent would be ideal because you can't just kind of like, hire a hitman to take him out, or even if Fisk wanted to get himself involved, like, you're dealing with a super powered vigilante here. So I never thought about that, but that's really interesting and I like that. Whenever we were talking about Luke Cage's show, I always fawned over Mike Coulter's performance. So this is exciting. Chris, I'm looking forward to you catching up with the Daredevil show. I can tell you right now, after 3 episodes, it feels a lot more exciting than those last couple episodes of the first season. So we're off to a good start so far. So hopefully you'll be excited to jump in when you're ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I've only heard good things of people like, oh, this is more cohesive than the last one. They're like, this is definitely telling a better story, because we all know the history of the first one. They filmed most of it, stopped production, retooled Marvel Television as a whole, retooled this. I think they filmed the first episode and the last episode again. So interesting to see kind of how this spins into that. With our travel, we probably won't be able to watch it until they're like 4 or 5 episodes out, but that's fine because it's going to lead into the Punisher, which, at this point with Daredevil, Kristen Ritter, and the Punisher, that's 3 of the 5, I guess, quote, quote, defenders, right? Because technically Punisher wasn't part of that original plan in there, so that's pretty exciting. I feel confident, or not feel confident. The timing of the Spider-Man trailer showing the return of the hand ninjas is interesting, especially because he's a New York hero and he's not really going around anywhere else because no one knows who Spider-Man is or Peter Parker is. So do you think that we'll see the return of Elektra and maybe the hand in season 3? Like, since we're kind of like chronologically Daredevil 2, the Punisher, Spider-Man with the Punisher, and then in the hand comes back to New York. Do you think we might see some of that?
I was happy to see somebody on Threads thankfully jog my memory of some other characters from the Netflix show that I had forgotten about, like Colleen Wing.
Yeah.
With her,
she's the best part of Iron Fist, by the way. Like, that's the work. That's the not the saddest part, but like I was like, oh, she did really good in that show, and I remember her more than I remember Finn Jones.
Yeah. And then I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she was the one that had the robotic arm.
Misty Knight is who you're thinking
of.
Like,
those would be some really, really fun characters to see return. But I feel like this is like their chance. Maybe let's pop off in a 3rd season of Daredevil where we get everyone back together. We're really synergizing the Disney Plus platform, and then whatever soft hard reset that we get from Secret Wars, maybe we'll wrap this kind of complicated history of Netflix up and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, this has been like I said, they announced this in 2013, so we're at like 13 years of these characters so far. So they probably don't have forever in them, despite how great they're doing. But yeah, I'd love to see them do some more with these. Even in the soft reboot Marvel, more of the street level stuff. That not everything has to be world ending, right? Like, we can do some stuff that's like, again, Wonder Man level or Luke Cage level along the way. So we'll see that. But I'm excited. I can say what you will about Iron Fist. It's just, even if he's just there, maybe they'll make us a couple jokes out of it. Some Marvel tends to be self-referential. I'd love to see kind of what they do with the whole cast and crew, especially if you say season 2 is really good and it's got the same people going into season 3, then that gives me hope that it's going to be continuously good along the way, right? So we'll cross our fingers with that. The last Marvel TV show that we've not heard a lot about in a while that we know is filmed is VisionQuest. This has been filmed and done for a bit, but at the end of last month, literally March 31st, Marvel filed for a new trademark under the 41 motion picture classification for the phrase and character Infinity Vision. So this gives me a couple things. This is going to be all rumors or theories from us spitballing here. Number one is similar to Infinity Ultron from the end of What If. I think season 1, and he was part of season 2. But also Infinity Vision for the motion picture classification tells me that this might be maybe a character we see in Secret Wars, because we've already done Doomsday. So is this a Secret Wars character we get to see come back?
I mean, we've seen things from the What If cartoon make it to the big screen already with Agent Carter, and the Infinity Ultron was just such an absolutely striking, awesome interpretation. I'd kind of love to see maybe the other side of the coin, which would be like Infinity Vision. Like that would be really cool.
It's the same.
I don't.
It's the same visuals because he was actually Ultron if he got the Vision body.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious to see like, I mean, I don't even know if we ever got a Sideshow collectible or a hot toy of that character from What If. I would imagine we had to have because it was so cool looking. So if not, this is a second opportunity for them to spin it back up.
Yeah, there's one. I'll send you the photo of it right now. It's a Sideshow. I saw the sticker price before we got there. So a friend of the show, Jason, he's gonna tell me about it. It's definitely a really, really awesome looking. He's got the lance. He's got the Vision with the removable Ultron armor around him.
I'm gonna take a guess on the price. Okay, I'm just looking at the visuals on the left side of the screen. Okay, this is looking pretty sick. Okay, I'm gonna guess $399.
$430.
Oh, not far off. Yeah. It's sick though. Hey, it would have been $399 before tariffs.
Does he glow? That's the question. Do the Infinity Stones actually glow? And I know Jason's gonna helmet with LED light up function. So the helmet lights up. Let's see here. Infinity Stones mounted on armor with LED light up function, battery operated. Hell yeah. So
this thing is awesome. This is the type of stuff you unfortunately never come across in like garage sales or thrift stores. It's kind of like you're paying full retail for this bad boy or you're never touching it.
Yeah. And what's cool about this, the Ultron armor on this one, again, if they take this character and be like, okay, well, in What If was Ultron, but like, what if Vision decided to get all the Infinity Stones instead, and that's our Infinity Vision, and maybe that's something in Secret Wars we get to see for the first time? That'd be pretty fucking sick. Like bringing this to real life, like action with Paul Bettany under that armor.
Oh yeah, I'm down on a rabbit hole right now. I'm looking at the Hydra Stomper from What If 2, which is really awesome because they kind of took the more of the cartoon approach with rendering Steve Rogers. He kind of looks more like an animated figure, but the Hydra Stomper is sick. Chris is gonna be bad for my wallet. I just got my state tax return. Federal tax return on the way. I do not need to be looking at this stuff, but it's so cool. This is my way of saying bring the Hydra Stomper into Secret Wars, please. I'd love it.
Yeah, the little Steve Rogers. He kind of looks like his suit looks like a GI Joe, like an old classic GI Joe jumper onesie fabric. With that, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you imagine if they CG'd skinny Steve Rogers again, and then he got to meet big jacked Chris Evans on screen? That'd be really funny.
Well, if you go back to the Infinity Ultron at the bottom, there's a gallery of people photos. The third one is like it's like a smoky room with like the lit up eyes and stones on the Ultron. That looks sick. I love the glow. Like you can still see his eyeballs in the glow. Like, yeah, this thing is pretty neat. Imagine like people coming over to my house and like staying the night. And that thing's just glowing in the background.
Oh my god! And then, but it's like keeping them awake, so they have to find like a little towel to put over it. And then you wake up in the morning and be like, "Were you scared of my Infinity Ultron?"
Yes, you should be. You should be scared of him. But that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, so Infinity Vision would be pretty awesome. Like, imagine that same power set, that same look, in the same thing. Oh, is there a Hot Toys too? Oh my gosh, Mike, there might be a Hot Toys. Hold up. Let's see here. It's loading. It is a Hot Toys, but it's an AliExpress Hot Toys. So I don't know how much I trust this.
Well, it can be kind of confusing because if I recall correctly, Sideshow Collectibles is kind of like an overarching store that kind of sells all types of manufacturers, where I think Hot Toys is specifically the manufacturer, but Sideshow has like the exclusive contract with Hot Toys in the United States. So yeah, sometimes it's confusing, but yeah, both premium outlets though.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jason will text me tomorrow. He'll tell me because he's got tons of these, but I think this is the same.
This kind of looks. I think this is the same one. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the last photo with everything together is what I hadn't seen yet, where everything's like laid out. Like, oh, here's the arms, here's the stand, here's everything. I don't know
what AliExpress is smoking, but it costs like $100 more, and they're trying to tell you you're saving $250. So don't buy it from AliExpress.
Don't buy a lot there. But it is fun to see it. Like this is a fun little thing that obviously we didn't know existed. We never looked up, but here we are down this rabbit hole looking at. But it is cool. I would love to see the Vision version. I think I don't know if it'll come out of VisionQuest, but like I don't think Marvel is done with Paul Bettany or Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch. I could absolutely see her coming back, even though they haven't said she's coming back, and having something to do with creating an even stronger Ultron with all the stones. So I'd love to see it come to life in the big screen. And if the way they have to be throwing money at this movie, Mike, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he shows up.
I'd be remiss if I didn't share this link with you, Chris. There's this insane, I don't even know if it's real, this insane like almost 3,000 piece knockoff Lego set of a Hulkbuster, but like half of it is like see-through, like so you can see the mechanical parts of it. It looks so weird, but it's shockingly only $33. Where like if this was a Lego set, this thing would cost you like $400.
How big is this thing? How big? Like, is this like a Temu thing where it's going to be like maybe like a couple feet tall?
It says 29 centimeters tall, so I can't do the conversion because I don't know what that is. But it's 29 centimeters tall.
So there's a box version. They both don't come with a box, by the way. I just want you to know that. So you got to figure out how to put this together yourself.
12 inches. 12 inches. Okay, so it's got some height to it.
It's got a 5-star review from January. It is neat. It is also it's giving Lego. I'll say that.
Oh boy.
But yeah, that's cool. I mean, it was like, did you see the not Quinjet, the helicarrier is getting a Lego set as well from Lego?
Oh, that's cool.
So it's official one, and it's coming with that, and I think it comes with like the Steve Rogers, and my buddy Brian, he messaged, he's like, hopefully it comes with that $10 bill. When Steve made the bet, he's like, he's $10 surprised me, so it'd be fun. Like that thing would be cool. Everyone thinks I should get the helicarrier. I still think I want to get the Avengers tower one day because simply
the tower's sick, yeah.
But it's also the minifig count. Like you get a lot more minifigs on the tower of the characters rather
also
than the helicarrier.
Comes down to how much horizontal space do you have and how much vertical space do you have.
Well, what I would do
that really what shelf are you putting it on?
Well, what the tower would be next to the Disney castle. We already have a space saved for it in case I wanted to.
Perfect.
But the helicarrier, I would hang it from the ceiling. It needs to be in the sky. Like
I like that idea.
Like or at least on the top shelf of one of my TV stands. Like like the old TV stands I have. Like it needs to be upwards because you don't look down on a helicarrier. You look up at it. So that'd be my thought process. But Legos are expensive, and you don't do much with them once you build them. So that's the hard part for me to commit. But oh well. Moving on, another Disney TV show coming out later this year, probably summer. X-Men '97 season 2. We got our first artwork here of some character portraits and something else. The big thing to take here from this 16 grid of character portraits is number one. The second character over is Polaris. Are you familiar with Polaris as an X-Men character, Mike?
I want to take a guess, but I don't want to embarrass
No,
myself.
go ahead. Take a guess. It's
So I'll go ahead and
it's
embarrass.
not.
Is this the character that was always rumored to be Taylor Swift in the live action, or am I
No,
confusing that with somebody
that is
else?
Dazzler. You're thinking of Dazzler.
Dazzler. Okay,
Yes.
that's right.
Polaris is the third child of Magneto. She has magnetic powers as well. With the green hair.
Oh, yeah, that rings a bell now.
She's also in that live action X-Men series that they did on Fox a couple years ago that nobody watched. But she is the daughter of Magneto, and she's also a magnetism person as well. You can also see some of the Outlander Wasteland versions of like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm. Sunspot is using his full powers. We haven't really seen a whole lot of that in the show. He's only been in human form mostly. Looks like Jubilee is also aged up on the third row. And then finally at the end we see I'm sure it's a beard Magneto, but he looks goateed. And the post adamantium removed from his body Wolverine. Do you remember like that feral Wolverine design from the 90s on the comic
Yeah, I
books?
was trying like this. I was trying to recall it, and I was like, "Oh, this definitely isn't a unique character design. This is something that they're pulling from, absolutely."
Yeah, he's he kind of like they take away his nose a little bit, but like they give him like the very like long mutton chops in the comic books, so it's kind of, you can kind of see it like partially here. He's still gonna keep his nose, but like they do give
Oh
an
wow, yeah,
homage
I'm
that.
googling it. I googled literally what you said post adamantium Wolverine. Yeah, without a nose, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah,
like ooh, he kind of looks like a weird like wildebeest or something, or
yeah,
possibly more like a actual Wolverine. Maybe that's kind of what they were going for there.
yeah. And then Xavier, who might be walking, maybe not walking. I never know with him. They like to walk him and then paralyze him, and then make him walk again. Overall, this show has been gone for how long now? 2.5 years. It
Too
feels like.
long,
Yeah.
too long.
I need that retro marketing for X-Men 97. I need that theme song back. I want to see what they're up to. Some of them got sent to the past, and they see the young Apocalypse, the Insabanur version of him. We saw Apocalypse at where Gambit died, so he's probably gonna bring Gambit back to life. The X-Men are just thrown through time, and I want to know what's going on, Mike. So hopefully we get a summer release date for this. I think that would be a big win for everybody to be able to revisit this. And also, on the flip side of that, I don't want Bo DeMayo coming back out of the woodwork to bitch on the internet about how he was fired from Marvel for being just
Yeah,
a bad person. So
this is the nice advantage of an animated TV show. An animated TV show is such a group effort from top to bottom that obviously, yeah, a showrunner is helpful and can be influential. But if you lose a showrunner, it's kind of less consequential compared to like, I don't know, like your favorite like live action TV series. Like I think of like Community when Dan Harmon left and before he came back, everyone always points to that season of being weird. But yeah, this is a gigantic machine
Yeah.
that has to make this type of show. So
yeah,
throw a different creative in there and I'm sure we'll be fine.
yeah. Well, I think it was like the same people who were working on it anyway, so I don't think it was like it was more of a promotion than a new hire. But at the same time, this is a continuation of a show that was already run in the 90s for several seasons, and a comic book series has been around for 50 plus years. So it's not like we're creating new things from the ground up. It's just telling it in a different medium.
Yeah. Also, if you have to be absolutely cynical, they kind of got what they needed out of Bo DeMayo. They kind of figured out the direction that the audience wanted, the exact amount of nostalgia that they're looking for, maybe how mature the storylines needed to evolve. So they kind of had a lot of those questions answered now. So the new leader can just follow those same paths now.
Yeah. And like I said, I think the guy who was doing it was already like kind of helping anyway. I don't think one person's like really driving that ship. But we'll see what happens when it comes out this summer. Later this week, Maul Shadow Lord hits Disney Plus. The essentially another Clone Wars set, animated style, but the animation on this is, like we talked about last time, has come so far in the past 18 years for the Clone Wars. How they were doing like 2008 versus how they're doing now looks entirely different. But they've got Sam Witwer returning to voice Darth Maul. And they've already renewed it for season 2. So it sounds like they probably had a bunch of episodes already. Like we talked about this, where they do like 2 seasons of episodes at once, and then release them across time as they kind of make them. So sounds like this was it. This will also cover both shows, not just season 2. We'll cover the Crimson Dawn era, teased at the end of Solo, like, you know, where Maul was revealed in the hologram to be behind everything. So I know this is a small niche audience. I'm very excited to return back to the Clone Wars animation. Darth Maul was always awesome in that show. I'd be interested to see what it looks like when he's like doing the Crimson Dawn stuff, because this is pre-Rebels. So because he dies in Rebels, obviously, so there's a lot more story to tell before he gets to that point. So very, very excited, and I'm glad they're gonna do in season 2. That way it's not like a one and done. I am surprised they announced season 2 though before May 4th. Like, we are like a month away from Star Wars Day, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and announce it. I'm like, that's interesting choice.
Oh yeah, maybe that means we'll get a little extra special announcement on May 4th.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't have this in the back pocket.
Yeah, I exactly. If like, yeah, if they like, yeah, we're gonna use it now. I'm like, okay, that means they have something cool to show us. Maybe that second season will drop sooner than we think along the way. The Batman 2. This movie has long been threatening us, Mike, since the last one. I was thinking I need to go rewatch the Batman actually like yesterday whenever I saw some of this news. I'm like, okay, but the production name for it is called Semper Vigilans, which translates to either always vigilant or ever watchful in Latin. And that means it's probably Court of Owls themed, because I think the Court of Owls has like something like we're always watching kind of thing in like one of their mottos. I never read the Court of Owls comic series. People were probably like, you gotta read it. Don't read a lot of Batman comics. Just not doing it for me. But this is something.
It's a great story. It's a great storyline. It's one of the few kind of, I guess you could consider it modern compared to how old Batman is. One of the few modern storylines that I've read. And it's extremely cool because it's like, oh, how do we add more myth and legend to Batman? It's like, well, you add more myth and legend to kind of Gotham as a whole. And it creates a pretty cool villain by the end of it. It is kind of one of those unfortunate comic book runs where I'm sure like a cold hard Batman fan could recommend a solution to me, but you know, it is a contained story, right? But when you read it kind of by trades, you know, it was kind of weird. It kind of just ended, and then all of a sudden, like, Batman picked up on another storyline, like in the last couple pages, and I was very confused. I was like, wait a minute, is the Court of Owls storyline over? It felt like we were picking up on a thread from a very larger, broader story that I hadn't quite read. So maybe somebody out there can tell me what was going, what I was doing wrong. But what I read was really, really cool, and I loved it. And I think a live action adaptation is right there. It'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and to me, Batman has a lot of, I guess, villains that are very like that wouldn't work in this gritty real Batman that they've set up already, right? Like, you're not getting, like, you may get Poison Ivy, but you ain't getting Poison Ivy. Like you're not getting the one who's like part plant and like, you know, kind of weird. You're not getting, you know, Clayface is even kind of hard to believe, the monster version of Clayface. Killer Croc's probably not there, but to have like a secret society that's like, you know, who knows this stuff, the Court of Owls, is kind of up there, and like, yeah, this is believable. Like, there's like it's like Illuminati-esque, you know, Freemason-esque, kind of like there's always someone above us and they're the ones pulling the strings. That's believable in this universe more than anything else. So I think if that's the case, possibly, but I think we've heard a lot about, you know, Harvey Dent and his wife, played by Scarlett Johansson, and Bucky, Winter Soldier, Sebastian Stan. And there, so it may just be more of a Harvey Dent thing than a Court of Owls thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they set up like maybe the seeds for a third one, right? Like, maybe get ready for that Batman 3. That way James Gunn can get his Batman out and make it a little more supernatural or whatever they need to. All right, last thing to show. Speaking of James Gunn, if you want a movie where the goal of the movie is to save crypto, lucky for you, last year we had Superman, which Superman's goal was to save crypto. And now we have Supergirl, whose trailer tells us it's her job in this movie to save crypto, the Superdog.
Chris, I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to say it. It's so weird to me, right? These movies were made essentially in conjunction together, or if not extremely closely. And it's so weird that it's almost like a very similar inciting incident for both stories. Like, okay, James Gunn, we get it. We really love your dog that you modeled this character after. I am very curious maybe if the trailer is just building it up more than it's supposed to be. Like maybe this just happens in like the first, act, and then it's really not that big of a deal. Like she gets this antidote or the dog gets fixed very quickly. It's just that thing that maybe gets her in front of
Mm.
Lobo, and then like the real story happens. But yeah, this trailer really makes you think that like, oh, you got to watch this movie because we don't know if this dog's going to make it through it or not.
Yeah, I think it's so. I do think this is the point. Again, I call it, I joke. It's John Wick, right? You kill the dog, or you hurt the dog, and then obviously you're gonna have to deal with the consequences of that. But like she's in the same outfit until the end. So and it's got 3 days. Like a 3 day journey is like exactly what a movie like this needs, right? Like you're against the clock. There's nothing. You can't be wasting time. You can't be out doing things for multiple days. You got 3 days to get the antidote and get back to the dog. But this one starts off with Superman making an appearance. They're kind of leaning into that a little bit. Lobo, Jason Momoa, he talks and he's got like that really. It sounds like a fake gruff voice he's doing. Like it's so fake sounding. I'm like, it's just Jason Momoa doing a gruff voice. But as someone online said, he's never that far from a Targaryen princess, because the girl who plays Karzora was in House of the Dragon season 1. Lobo seems to be a team up with Supergirl rather than against him or her. Is that the vibe you get there? Like
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And the supposed villain of the movie, the one with all the piercings on his face, it's so funny that this is supposed to be like the main villain. And I suppose if you look at it in isolation, oh yeah, this character is really going to stand out. They have like this crazy, jarring, facial feature. You're not going to be able to miss it. But you just go into like these like space galactic bar full of a bunch of these weirdos, and it just keeps looking at like we're looking at like a henchman that's gonna get like literally blown out of a spaceship with her laser eyes. So like Lobo is so much more of an interesting looking character. So yeah, I'm really hoping Lobo is like in the movie, not
Yeah.
just kind of like a like one off,
Well,
like, oh hey,
there's
I'll see you in the first act, then pop up in the third act.
Well, there's at least 3 instances. Number one, there's the bar, which we saw like where he's like, "You're giving me a headache." Then he says, "Aren't you the ditz from that dive bar?" And she's like, "That's what I've been calling you." So that's the second portion. Then in the first trailer, if you go back and watch, he's on that ship, that she's swinging that big thing or that tank around on the chain at the end in the Supergirl suit. So I do think he's in a first, middle, and end kind of thing along the way. Since he's a space bounty hunter, he might have some connections. He might be pointing her in a direction that she needs to go. So obviously it's a very emotional trailer. Nobody wants to see Crypto obviously get hurt or die. I don't think the dog's gonna die in this, Mike, if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that would be kind of an insane thing to do.
Also, it's like modeled after James Gunn's real dog, right? Like it's the same looking dog, so I don't think he's gonna let the fake version of his own dog be killed. But it's also giving me Guardians 3 vibes, like where like Rocket was hurt and they have to go, get stuff to save Rocket quickly, kind of thing. So I'm just getting a lot of stuff that's not unique to this, and I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying to be hopeful, but like the more I see this, the more I'm really not interested in going to watch it. If I'm gonna just lay it out there, I'm like, there's nothing new brought to the table with this, other than it might help us understand Krypton, the planet, a little more, because there's that bubble and it's blowing up and she's sent away.
Yeah,
But other
I
than
actually was
that,
a little interested by that. There seemed to be maybe some flashback moments of fleshing that out a little bit. So I'd be curious to get a little bit of a backstory there. But I agree with you. I'm trying to find like the X factor here, right? I felt like when we watched the Superman trailer, it was just like, oh wow, like Nathan Fillion is in this. We got Metamorpho. You know, you have also like the iconic portrayal of Lex Luthor as another actor who's willing to shave their head bald. Just seemed like there was more popping off.
The world felt
Mr.
full and different.
Who's the guys with the orbs again? Mr.
Terrific.
Miracle, Mr. T. Terrific. That's what it is. I was like, but yeah, in this one, I'm just like, I don't really know who the person that she's teaming up with, you know, of like, oh, this guy also killed my family. So, I guess this is the difficulty of marketing, right? Of just like, oh, I'm the marketer. I've seen this movie and it's great. Now, how do I convince other people it's great? Let's tell it all.
Well,
sell it all.
Look,
Weighs on the survival of this dog.
I am not here to show this movie before it comes out, but we have heard they've done like 10 test screenings of this with 3 different endings. And what was the exact phrase I used whenever I saw that to you? Like, this is the most amount of test screenings a movie has ever done in the industry. And I just, that is wild to me that they've done that many test screenings alone.
It doesn't instill confidence.
More,
but I mean, there's a lot to pull here that looks good. I mean, like Millie Alcock. I love the brief moment that we got to see her in the Superman movie. I watched. She was in a like Netflix miniseries that the wife and I watched last year. We really liked her in that. I mean, Jason Momoa seems to be born to play Lobo, even though he pretends like he popped out of the womb and then started reading like Lobo comic books, even though I doubt that happened. Yeah. So I think there's a lot that can go right here. But it's kind of hard to get jazzed at the moment.
Yeah, so Supergirl's been screened at least 8 times, more than any other studio film in the past decade. So that is, again, not saying, you know, screening means they're testing, they're working on it, they're not just letting a bad movie go up, but that is interesting as a flag here beforehand. But yeah, nothing against the actresses. I think that's fine. I just, like I said, I'm trying to find the reason to go to it along the way. And then before we go, I'm gonna put this in here because I just looked at our chat and I forgot I even put it in here. Mike, Animorphs, Ryan Coogler to work on Animorphs movie. I read these books like it was nobody's business when these were coming out. I have you know this about me. I have like one of those collector OCD mentalities. Like if I was to be like, what favoritism do I have, Mike? It is the completionist person. But Ryan Coogler is working on the Disney Plus. So I'm excited. I like this. It's a show. I don't know if you ever read the books, or people who may not know. Like, kids are visited by this alien who then give them the power to transform into any animal that they have to touch the animal to get the DNA, and then they can transform into it. But they have like a certain time limit, or they're stuck in that form forever. So they're in the middle of this like alien invasion where these like brain slugs can control humans, and it's just like these kids are dealing with war at like a young age. I read all these books. Do you remember Book It, the Pizza Hut thing where you read books and got pizza? I read so many Animorph books to get pizza, Mike. Like, all I can associate this with is pizza and animals. So I'm jazzed for this. I just want to put that in there. Do you have any fond memories of Animorphs at all?
I do recall the Animorphs, especially at the Scholastics book fair that would come through every school trying to beg your parents for a blank check so you could just fill in what you needed to buy the latest Animorphs collection. No disrespect to Ryan Coogler, the man who also has an affinity for the Coke Freestyle machine that I also love, but he is on an absolute hot streak right now. You know, he just won the Academy Award and everything. Absolutely everything that he whispers in an executive office right now, I feel like is getting greenlit. Great for him, right? You know, let this man cook, as the kids would say. But I wouldn't be surprised if half of the things that get announced from Ryan Coogler, like moving forward, just like never see the light of day, because I just feel like that's just kind of what happens. You know, you wanna capitalize on the success, and then, you know, people just start saying yes, and we'll figure it out later. So
who did Sinners release through? Do you know? I'm looking it up right now. Warner Brothers.
Was it Warner Brothers?
It was it was distributed by Warner Brothers, but he has like a working relationship with Disney because of obviously Black Panther. the stuff he's done there. So yeah, I do think he's probably just got like a like he's like, hey, you want to do Animorphs? He's like, yeah, I remember reading that. They're like, great, we've now got approval from Ryan Coogler to do Animorphs kind of thing.
As he would say, he'll get involved with that. I mean, he's got the X-Files project is further along. I feel like, they've actually had casting announcements for the X-Files kind of reboot. So there's definitely things coming down the pipeline from him for sure on the TV side of things. But Animorphs seems, I mean, I think this man can make anything amazing, but it does kind of seem like a little maybe younger skewing than kind of some of the things that he's been putting on screen. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe this is just a thing where he's like, oh, I got some buddies that are talented and need a job. Well, so I'll let them do it. And then I'll just kind of like have eyes on the script.
He is technically, I'm currently the same age as Ryan Coogler, which makes me feel entirely inadequate.
Don't say that. That's going to make me feel awful.
Yeah. So I'm just saying he would have grown up reading these books. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, he would be like, yes, I remember going to the book fair. I remember reading Animorphs. Absolutely. Let's do something. I remember watching the TV show of Animorphs. You remember the TV show of Animorphs?
Yes.
Shawn Ashmore, Iceman from X-Men himself, was in that as one of the characters. So I even have like a transform they're Andalites, the aliens, like the good ones with like the little hook on their tail. I had a transforming it was like a transformer sort of Beast Wars where he would transform into a human for it, and I was like, this is awesome. So anyway, sorry, didn't mean to wax poetic about Animorphs. I just it's a core memory of myself reading those as a kid. So I'm glad to see them get a little bit. And also K.A. Applegate, a writer everyone loves, isn't hateful, doesn't do the wrong things. I'd take an Animorphs movie or series over a Harry Potter series any day, Mike. Just gonna throw it out there to wrap the show up. So if people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at, buddy?
Oh, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, people want to find you. Where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video game systems of the same name. If people want to know about the show, where they can come and listen to us every week, see our upcoming release pages, see all these show notes, where can they get all of our goodies?
Oh, all of our goodies. Ooh, delicious. You can find our Easter basket of goodies over at superheroslate.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you're listening to podcasts. And I must emphasize, listening. We are first and foremost an audio medium. So please, if you're watching us on YouTube, minimize us down in your little itty bitty corner and get some work done. Drink some full sugar Red Bulls like Chris, and we will be your audio companions. I feel like the legacy of the audio only podcast is dying, so I'm here bolstering it.
You can vibe code while you listen to us. We support that.
Exactly. You can't watch a podcast. That's a talk show. That's a talk show. You're putting, Oprah Winfrey on while you're vibe coding. It doesn't sit the same, right? So Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. What are you watching? What else are you listening to? What are you playing? Let us know, and we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share this show with a friend, share this show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.